Hey y'all, what's happening? It's your brother in the footwork and your footwork news boy, DJ Cornerstone, and you're watching Give Us the Works on the Footwork Out YouTube channel, where I interview various dancers, DJs, and producers. So y'all pay attention as our guest today gives us the works. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's your brother in the footwork, DJ Cornerstone, your footwork news boy, and I'm delighted to have with us on the show today on Give Us the Works, our brother, the footworker, the artist, the MC, entrepreneur, fashion designer, all kinds of good stuff, y'all. Give it up for our brother Kenlokey.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Man, thank you for the great introduction.
Oh man, hey, you deserve that great introduction there, brother, man. You do good stuff, man. No problem. But hey, first off, looking through your stuff, I like to ask this question for everyone so they can all know. So, where are you from?
I'm from Chicago, the south suburbs, though.
South suburbs. Okay.
Yep. Grew up in Country Club Hills. You know, I got a lot of roots in Robbins, Illinois. It's where both of my parents are from. I spent time out there too with my grandparents, but you know, I was born and raised Country Club Hills, though.
Oh, right on. Hey, that's a nice looking area, man.
Yeah. It was a decent community, you know what I'm saying, for the most part. I mean, we got our stuff like every other community, but you know, it was you know, cool upbringing. You know, it changed over time. You know, I wouldn't say drastically, but you know, like any other neighborhood.
Yeah, I know. Everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere. Well, yeah, man, we looked into moving there at one point in time. We saw the house is nice like a mug, then we saw the taxes on them bad boys. Like,
yeah.
Something else.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, I was blessed, man, to have the parents that I had, you know, and they was hard workers, so, you know what I'm saying, it allowed them to plant their feet there, you know what I mean? So I was fortunate in that sense.
Man, yeah, yes indeed, man.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the reasons why I asked you about where you're from, because in looking through the different stuff they got on you on the internet and all that, man, I see you do some work, quite a bit of things with Lawndale, man. Like, I was like, this is brother from Lawndale.
Hey, you cold, man. You be researching, huh?
Oh, man, gotta look the folks up, man. Straight up.
Yeah,
like,
so Lawndale, one of my close friends, and I work very closely with him. His name is Jay Simon. He's like a brother to me, really.
Yeah.
He's from the West Side, and so.
Okay.
So in North Lawndale, I got an opportunity to collaborate with him just on some art projects. I mean, we do a lot of collaborative work, but probably the stuff you seen, that was the work that I did with him.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, that was, man, you on the level, man. Get under your art too, man.
Okay.
For real, you on the level. Hey, but before we go there, no problem, man. No problem. But before we go there, I want to tap into your footwork.
Okay.
Beginnings first. So, seasoned footworker. I believe you're either first or second generation.
Yeah, you know what, through the, because me and you, I would say we're footwork enthusiasts, right? Outside of being practitioners of the art, we definitely just love the information. And so, from our research, you know, it's a little mixture between where does the first generation start and end. But you know, I according to the information I've gathered, I would be considered second generation.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was definitely, you know, people before me, some of my teachers, but particularly Marvin Chambers, you know, he would be like first generation.
Oh man, yeah. Which crews were you with?
Yeah, so I started in Total Impact. So that's probably where I got, you know, the most known for and the most notoriety. Started when I was, I want to say I was in 8th grade, so I was like 13 or 14.
All right.
You know, I was with them until they pretty much just separated. That's the only reason why I went to another group. You know, is because, you know, they pretty much split. So once they split, one of the guys who I got a chance to work with in Total Impact, and he was kind of like a student of mine in a sense, was BB. And so BB started Too Fatal, and he started Too Fatal with a cat named Daryl. Daryl was in Chaos Posse.
Okay.
So Too Fatal was Chaos Posse and Total Impact combined, and they practiced pretty much in the neighboring city, you know, which was Hazelcrest. And so, so I went over there because he asked me to be a part of that. And because me and BB, we like a dynamic duo at one point. So, well, if he said, you know what I'm saying, let's go do this, I'm rolling, you know, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I went over there with them, and I was there maybe for a few years until they separated. And then I went to Triple Phase.
Okay, right on. Okay.
Triple Phase practice in Country Club Hills.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't know that one. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I might be mixing up with Final Phase. I think Troy might have been Triple Phase. DJ Troy. Yeah. Oh man. I love seeing the connections, man.
Yeah, Solo, all of them. And then what happened, you know, after that was like the last group I was in, you know, and then later on when I reconnected with BB, which was literally within the last maybe like 5 or 6 years or so, you know, he asked me to get down with Final Chapter, you know, so. Yes,
I was going to ask him to make sure it was the same BB I was thinking about. Yeah. Man, cool brother right there, man.
Yeah. So that's how I got in Final Chapter, you know. So
okay.
That was like in the last 7 years ago. That wasn't like from back in the day, you know, because at that time I had already started doing other things, you know what I'm saying? But BB was still going hard with the actual footwork. So
yeah, man. Shout out to that brother, man.
Yeah, that's my man. Shout out to him, man, for real.
Yeah. Well, hey, so I got real excited when you said you started with Total Impact, right? Because I'm from Joliet.
Okay.
I lived other places and everything, but most of my upbringing was Joliet. So I started probably around the same time as you with footworking. I started around 93, 94, 7th, 8th grade.
Okay.
And we used to have talent shows. Our guys that there was OJ the DJ and DJ T-Bone, who does V1 stuff now, right?
Okay.
So they would throw the talent shows, and there was, you know, everybody from Joliet, but it was one dance group in Joliet. They called themselves Dog Pound at one time. They would bring in these two brothers, and we all was like, man, they got these brothers from Chicago, man, they cold. And they bring these brothers in, man, these two brothers, man, and kill it.
Yeah.
We used to be like, huh?
Just two of them.
It was just two.
Okay.
And everybody, once we found out, they was like, man, they dancing like, I was like, oh man. We knew we was gonna lose, right? Of course we did it anyway. But my homegirl Ebony, she was with Dog Pound at one time. And I was like, Ebony, what was them brothers' name from Total Impact? Oh, I remember they was Total Impact. And she's like, man, one of the name was Jermaine, I think, and I think his nickname was Panky. And it was another brother named Reggie that was Snap, man. I'm like, man, you ever meet these guys, man? You I don't know if they was in Total Impact the same time as you would now, but
I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm had to run that past Marlon, because like Total Impact, you know every group, they kind of got their generations too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like that's my own theory. Like you got generations, the culture as a whole, but then you got generations as far as like internal in the groups. And so I feel like Total Impact, they had maybe a generation before me. So by the time, you know what I'm saying, because I'm a shorty, you know what I mean? So a lot of those guys, they was in their 20s, you know, and the Panky sounds very familiar though, because you know that's the name you can't really forget.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of members that came in and out, you know what I'm saying? I would say probably because of just, I don't know, it was like don't want to call it migration, but you probably feel what I'm saying, like with the city to the burbs.
Yeah.
And then like breaking off into other groups and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of guys that came in and out, but Panky does sound familiar though.
Word. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, yeah. If you can find out, man, I appreciate it. Cause I'm like,
So,
man,
yeah.
about these cats.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. So, man, Chicagofootworkdotcom. I
Okay.
want to thank you for Chicagofootworkdotcom.
So,
For real. Because it helps people to, to know what's going on. And I like, too, that you help to shine, give everybody some shine, some highlight time,
Yeah.
So what inspired you to start that?
Man, great question. So, I actually started in like 2010, 2011, I want to say.
Straight up.
And it was called Fortune and Bang, like Fortune and Fame.
Yeah.
Yep. And I had an actual blog site. And at that time, I was because like you said, I was an MC, and I was really getting featured a lot on different blogs. You know, particularly blogs like Facial Drive, Deaf Sounds was another blog that was featuring me, and I would kind of study what they was doing with the rap culture, and I was like, man, I want to do something like this for the footwork culture.
Yeah.
And and then also again, by just like me and you being enthusiasts of the culture, there was so much that I wanted to see, like just the different groups, and I wish we had cameras like they do now.
Come on, man.
Capturing all the moments and stuff. And I'm like, I wish it was a centralized place where all of this stuff was at, because in order to see it, you really have to dig to find it. You have to be on YouTube for hours and looking up keyword searches and all kind of stuff to find certain things. So I just wanted to put things in a centralized location for the people that enthusiasts of the culture like yourself and me, and just fans of footwork. So. Oh
man, that's cool right there, man. I wish too, man. I got a personal request that you will put your picture up on there, man. You're a very humble dude, because like for the longest, I'm like, who is that? Who got this Chicagofootwork.com? But,
what's interesting about that? You're not the first person that has said something like that to me, and part of the reason why I do it is because, obviously, we all got our favorites and everything. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want nobody to feel like I'm being biased, and I try to support everybody. And I feel like they'd be like, okay, Kenlokey, he from Total Impact, he from Country Club Hills, he favor those dances more than those dances. You know what I'm saying? Which is not true, because even when I was footworking at a very high level when I was young, and being so competitive with those guys, even though sometimes we wanted each other's blood, you know what I'm saying? But I still was fan. Like, I couldn't help it. On the inside, I'm still like, damn, I gotta give him credit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I try my best not to be biased like that, and not to have a biased opinion. So I don't want to make it about me. You know what I'm saying? Because I still got a little gas in the tank with footwork, but I don't even post videos of myself or anything like that, because I want it to be just about the people. So.
Yeah. Oh, what? I understand that. I understand. Oh, doing this, brother, I definitely understand.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about this? Let's come to the common ground. How about maybe put something there moderated by Kenlokey, or just put it right up so we can know who to call. Like, we might want to say, man, thank you for, like, you posted a clip on me, and I like, I think I put on there like, thank you. And you responded like, hey, like, you welcome, brother. But I'm like, but still, who is it?
Your research skills is cold, though, because you sure found me. This man cold, right?
Hey, I had to do some digging on you, man.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, the people who need to know, I feel like they know, you know what I'm saying? I don't make it about me, so that's
I respect that, man.
Yeah, if you notice on my art page, I do the same thing.
Yes.
I make it about the art. I don't make it about me.
Yeah, you sure do. You sure do, man. And even on and I'm hitting it early, but you rocking the hat.
Yes, sir.
I don't really see much of you when it comes to that site too. So like that, hey man, you're a true humble dude, man.
Yeah, I just, it's that, man. And also, I look at like all of these big companies that we love and admire and stuff like that. A lot of CEOs, you do have some CEOs that are very front facing and they have their own like, personal brand. There's a lot of them that you probably walk right past dude on the street and never even like I didn't know that was the guy that owned Netflix, you know what I'm saying? Or I didn't know that was, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know that was the guy behind Nike. Like wow, I've been with Nike all these years, So that's kind of how I'm a person.
That's cool. Hey, that's dope though too, because that allows you to live the life you want to live instead of having cameras all in your face.
Yeah, and to go back to what you were saying, like with rap, when I was rapping, like it was very much about that. You know what I'm saying? Like putting yourself on the camera as much as you could, putting your name on stuff as much as you could, like trying to really develop this personal brand. And I don't know if it drained me out or what. You know what I'm saying? I just like that don't really excite me no more. I'm not not saying that everybody's like that who do that, because I understand building a personal brand, especially in today's time. But I'm just not a clout chaser. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't really do anything for me. So yeah, I've always been like that.
Yeah. Okay. You sound like the oh man, how come this the J. Cole of Footwork then? Like really,
J. Cole's like that?
Yeah. Someone be telling me. I heard some of his cuss, man. I like his music and stuff. I look for the character in the person.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite artists. He cold. He definitely cold.
Yes indeed. Yeah. How do you go about picking what you're going to post? Because you see a whole bunch. I know you do.
That's a great question. That's a great question. You know what? It's a few things. One obviously is skill. Obviously, if something dope is dope. You can't deny it. Another thing I think is the quality of the content. Some people you can tell they just put more effort into, maybe the camera that they have, maybe understanding angles, understanding editing and cuts and all that type of stuff, and then who it is. Like some people, I ain't gonna say culture vulture, but like I go on your page, you doing everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't post no footwork videos, but then you come with a video sharing it to me, want me to post it on the platform.
Oh,
like do you for real care about the culture? You just want this little clout from this page. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that too, like I'll be like, I don't know if I'm posting, because like how are you really contributing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So but again, if it's dope, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna just post it. But so that's the thing, and that's more so with people that's not in Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because sometimes some of them, they'll try to like utilize that to create platforms to teach and all that type of stuff. And I feel like you ain't really in the culture for real. You just trying to catch a little wave. So some of those things I won't post. People who I see being consistent and really just like on the grind. I get some people that send me 5-6 videos a week, and then I might be like, I didn't really like the video, but I'm gonna post because this dude is hungry. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that. So stuff like that, because I ain't gonna say who said it, but somebody who's a little high up in the culture told me like, hey man, your platform, bro, it's getting to the point where on the main page, I don't think you should post nobody that's not consistent, not dope, and not trying to make decent content. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost a privilege to be on there. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I never looked at it like that, but because it is promoting them, you know what I'm saying? Because I've gotten some opportunities that came across my DM for other dancers that I reached out to people like, hey, you want to do this, da 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 da. And I realized like that it's because I promoted you, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but that's the criteria.
Okay, that's a good criteria. That's good criteria.
And I guess it's because I'm from the culture, so I just care about it in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just not gonna post any and everything, but yeah. So lately, and I'm glad you asked that question, because lately, man, I've been getting some smoke from a couple of people.
For what?
Just mad because I ain't posting, basically.
Hey,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's clear it up for everybody out there right now. Is how many thousands of y'all, and each thousands of y'all probably got 100 videos a month. Is one kenlokey. You gotta be patient. he got to work and all that.
But you know what, man? I DM'd the guy because he did it on a whole nother page. It was a couple guys, and it was like a little thread, and they was kind of going in. So I hit them all up, like, "What's up, bro? Like, you know, well, how can I support you better?" And he was like, "Yeah, 'cause I feel like you don't support blah blah." I was like, "Hey, well," I said, "Well, the last time you posted was January. What am I supposed to post?" You know what I'm saying? Like,
and we December 2022.
Yeah, let's talk about your consistency. Let's talk about your consistency. You know what I'm saying? So we can have it. Like, I'm cool to have a conversation. You know. So, but let's talk about, because I'm doing it on that scale, which is, you know, whatever. But you gotta keep in mind there's bigger opportunities and stuff, and the people looking at you the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be somebody like I had a lady hit me up. She had a teaching job for somebody. And it was like every weekend or whatever, and it was with a reputable school. And I'm looking for, you know, a Chicago footwork dancer, somebody that may do hip hop too. And so that's the first thing I'm thinking about, man. Who's consistent?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, but you know, there is no guidelines and, you know, template for how to do what, you know, how to present yourself correctly as a Chicago footworker. So I get it. People don't know. So that's why I'm like, we got a conversation, bro. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Hey man, so that's interesting, because, you know, I just thought that you would see people's posts and then decide. I didn't know there was people actually sending you stuff, and then people not only send you stuff but saying, "Hey, can you post my video?"
Yeah, it's both. It's both. So some things I see, because it's people who I know is consistent. So I see their stuff all the time and come across my timeline. But then I have, you know, a lot of people who send me stuff, you know, especially the younger kids, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously a lot of them, they're not thinking about all of that. You know, they just, man, post me, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And a lot of them, I'm not so harsh with how I might, you know, judge what they doing, because understand they only got so many resources and stuff. But same thing, being consistent, man, I'm gonna post you, because I want to encourage them too to keep going. Everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how we keep the culture going.
Man, that's right on. You know what? I realize you another one of the culture's gatekeepers, man. That's good. You like a filter, which is that's a blessing.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna encourage you, man, to keep it up no matter what, because I'm sure you probably had your moments of disappointment and frustration.
I did.
Know that you are appreciated.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Same to you, bro.
Hey, thank you.
Before I hopped on, man, I was foot workout.
Come on. Yeah, man. I'll tell you too, that's my family. Like every vocal sample in that track.
Word.
That's my wife and my children. All them different words. Yep.
That make it even better.
Oh man, yeah, I love hearing it, man. We laughed when we first made the track. But
it's dope,
oh yeah, man. Thank you, appreciate it. So more on into the footwork, man. So I'm gonna get a little bit more, I would say, not serious, but conscious questions on footwork. And I asked a couple of people this, like, what do you think would help unite the footwork community more than what it is right now?
Oh yes. Some top tier questions.
Up there, man.
Well, so I think it's multiple things. At first, I'm gonna start low and bring it up a little higher. The first thing, I think, just because we're from, you know, Chicago land, I'll say, and you'll probably feel me on this. We've been through so much, man, as far as being able to trust people. Right, just PTSD type stuff, you know what I'm saying? And all of this, that there's a group of people that no matter what you do, they're not gonna change. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, some of them are kind of big names in the culture. You know what I'm saying? Some of them. And so those people, they just gotta get stepped over, you know? in love. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you, but I'm gonna have to leave you right where you at because you're not gonna do nothing different. So then I would say the next group of people, they do have the intention to come together and do whatever, but they don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't have all they know is dance. You know what I'm saying? Show up to the party and dance, you know? So you got that group. And then I feel like there's another level of people who are very productive and they are trying their best with what they got. They building their groups. They're building their own brand. You know, they're showing up to everything. These are people that we see all the time online being consistent, and they are contributing in their own right. You know what I'm saying? Whether you take somebody like Antalya, who, you know, they're contributing from like video and film, big time, you know, and they're teaching, you know, and as footworkers, you can't deny their skill. They're good, you know what I'm saying? Even though they're not from Chicago. Then you got people like AG running his group, you know what I'm saying? He got kids, they're performing. In the last few years, they've been getting better at branding themselves with, you know, matching shirts and logos and on events, you know, that's in the name of their group, you know. Then you got Chum, like, I don't even have to speak on Chum. Chum is killing it, right? I feel like Chum is like a hybrid of like Wallercam and, you know, maybe House-O-Matic from back in the day, like, you know, he's like a hybrid of that. And obviously you got Creation, you know, we don't have to speak on them, you know what they're doing. So we got those people, you know, and then we got people who are older, like you and me, you know what I'm saying, who come from maybe the first or second generation, where we're creating platforms that might not even exactly be dance, but it's a platform to help carry the dance a little further, right? Podcasting, you know, like Crossfire got his podcast, you got Footwork Cafe, Detroit, A-Curry Films, and then you got the videographers and stuff, you know, event planners. So I feel like it's gonna take everybody pushing at the same time, everybody respecting what each other, you know, contributes, and then collaborating. You know, that's the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? Is collaborating. And I think it's you know, people got to drop these egos. There's a lot of egos, and even the gatekeeper thing, like you just talked about. Like, some people, they want to be a gatekeeper so bad. Like, y'all got to drop that. Like, create what you're gonna create, and eventually you will be. You know what I'm saying? Once your platform gets to whatever level, but trying to be one and you're not really, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not really putting nothing in place to be one. Like, you know. So, and then what is your intentions? Because, like I said, a lot of people in the culture, they're not very trustworthy. So that's something we got to work on. But that's really what I think it is just, you know, the collaboration and just working with what we got, man, and just, you know, keep building on it. And not only that, but the people who, you know, may have something going on that's, you know, strong and beneficial, you know what I'm saying? Like, really seeing how we can help them and become more resourceful to them. So I think personally.
Wow, man. You hit, it seems to be a common, I don't want to say denominator, but a common thread to what the solution is. Because you hit on everything that I've heard so far, people's ideas. But the main two things I've been hearing, like last interview was DJ Larry Hot, right?
Yeah, that's my boy. Shout out to him.
Yeah. Shout out to brother. Shout out to brother Larry Hot, man.
Yeah, I see you.
Look, man, dude is raw.
Definitely is.
Yeah, man. But and that's two of the things he said was collaboration and dropping egos. And when you just said it, made me think like, well, how can we help people to know how to drop egos? How can we teach people and demonstrate to people how to drop the egos? Right. And I know there's people demonstrating on collaborations just in what their post is,
right?
But some people still aren't quite picking it up like they see it. But is there a way to make sure people catch that? Like, man, this person was doing it by themselves on this side. This person was doing it by themselves on that side. When they came together, it was way greater. Like, how can we point this out to them so they can see the benefit in collaboration?
Right.
So,
You know, and I'll be talking about this, is like, to me, and it's obvious, right? One of the kings of the culture is King Charles. And he gets a lot of flack for whatever may have happened with people personally, you know what I'm saying? But we can't deny his work, you know, that he's done. And so I was referring to him because when he created CFology and they started, you know, he basically created a teaching platform online during the pandemic, and he had students from all over the world, which is mostly students that he acquired, you know, throughout his travels. And he kind of opened it up for all of these different, you know, people in the culture in Chicago to participate in being a teacher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's people just like that platform, which is not only his platform, you know, he operates that, Kelly helps him with it, and, you know, multiple other people. But it's people that's trying, you know what I'm saying, that's him trying with the resources that he has. You see what I'm saying? And nobody in this culture is rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, the culture as a whole hasn't reached that level yet, you know what I'm saying? Where there's multiple people that got all this money from the culture, whatever. So I don't even know what all the hating and ego and stuff is about. Ain't nobody there yet. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just gonna take some conversations, maybe some hard conversations, some conversations that people just never had. I don't think they avoid them, they just never had the conversation, you know? So that's really what I think it is. We probably gotta put some key people in the room together, you know, on the phone or something, and just say, hey, you know, what you got going on, what I got going on, let's see how we can put it together, you know? That's what I think.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm glad you said that too, because I point out what I observed. Like, I've seen different people from different groups help out with teaching CFology. So yeah, he's definitely trying to help bring everybody in on that. Yeah, man. Right on. Let's see here.
And I'll say, even with Chum, you know, I'm starting to see a lot of people utilize his location to have events.
Oh, word.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of events we seen, it was at Chum spot. Yeah. So that's dope.
Yeah, man, definitely. Now I got to admit, I'm not exactly sure which one of these spots is Chum spots, because I see Chum, I see Goon Squad at different places, but I don't know which one is their place. Like, what does it look like? Which one?
Yeah, the one with the mirrors on the wall.
The whole wall of mirrors has got the brown, the grayish brown.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep, man. Yep, definitely, man. That's a good point.
So I'm noticing other people starting to have events there. And I remember they was doing that with an Empire spot too that they had. I remember Chair Squad. I think they was practicing out of there. So stuff like that. You know, when you do that, now y'all kind of have an alliance in a sense. So, and I understand this is a competitive culture. You know, I get it. You know what I'm saying? We super competitive, but you know, competing on the dance floor, then competing from, you know, that's one thing. But competing as far as business and moving the culture forward, that's not smart. You know? Yeah,
you're right on that. And I'm gonna say, you're gonna hear me. I don't know. I ain't make this quote. But it goes like this: community is better than competition. Competition is good.
Yeah.
It helps you to get your edge up and everything, sharpen your skills. But once your skills sharp, working together take you even further.
Yeah. I would agree.
Man, so if you don't mind, I want to get to the Jone's Corner Store, man.
Okay.
You're rocking the hat, man. So I know you just art and apparel and everything. Can you give us a full detail, like how to start?
Okay, no problem. So, so the Jones Corner Store originally was a actual physical store location in Phoenix, Illinois. It was like 155th and Vincennes, I want to say the exact address. And it was a store that my grandfather had. My grandfather, man, he was just the ultimate hustler. You know, dude was married. He had 6 children, and you know, he probably had like maybe 3-4 houses by the time he was like 30 or something like that. And you know, he had a job at first, but then he saved that bread, opened up a gas station with his homie, saved that bread, and then he opened up the Jone's Corner Store, which was a food and liquor store. And he passed away when I was 2 years old, so I never got a chance to really know him personally.
Yeah.
But what happened when I was a teenager, you know, we would have, you know, even though our group comes Club Hills, that ain't mean we didn't go through hard times, right? So we'll have times where, you know, parents might have been in between jobs or whatever, and times was hard, you know, and I see grandma pop up, you know what I'm saying, with that check, you feel me, or that bailout, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, the lights come back on, or, you know what I mean, whatever struggles we had, we ain't got them no more, you know. Yeah. And so after it happened a couple of times, you know, you start getting that age where you start realizing certain things. I asked my mother, like, man, what did grandma do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where does money come from? You know, so she started explaining to me about, you know, him and her, you know, the Jones Corner Store, which I remember going to when I was young, because they ran the store after he passed away, probably until I was about maybe 8 or 9. And so I remember going there with my pops and stuff when I was young. But you know, start telling me about that and real estate that they had and stuff. And I'm like, man, he's like an entrepreneur, like super entrepreneur. And so ever since then, you know, I knew in my mind at some point, like I gotta be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? At some point or another, like that's the you know, if I want to maximize my potential, that's probably the route to go for me. You know what I'm saying?
Footwork out.
Hey, well, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a lot. Be sure to check out our guest of the day's information, individual social medias and websites. That way you can support, because it's a good thing that we all support each other, right? And yo, Give Us the Works now is every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. So stay tuned. On the fourth Wednesday of this month, we shall continue our conversation with today's guest. But until then, be sure to take care of yourself. God bless you, and footwork out.
Footwork out. Footwork out. Footwork out. Footwork out. Footwork out. Footwork out. Footwork out. Footwork out. Footwork out. Footwork out.
Paying homage for keeps. Gotta acknowledge the peace. Gotta get garments for me. Yeah, I slide the boutique. We different, our style is unique. It's named from grandpa's deep. It's Pete and the fam for real. Yeah, c'est la vie. You know we care about the streets. It's time to flourish and grow. I got it on.